And we are back again, Stacy.
Again. 52.
I gotta tell you, 52, the music, the opening montage is just brilliant. It still lights me on fire.
Oh,
A podcast by fans, about fans, for fans. I love that opening. That's right up there with the Stephen Bochco opening from back in the 80s.
Yes.
Like Hill Street Blues or, Laverne and Shirley. It's like epic. I love our opening.
Yes, I'm glad. Yay. I'm glad. Seriously. I love that music too. And
I really do.
Yeah.
I really do.
Love that music. When I heard it, I was like, bam, that's it.
Had to go with it.
Yes.
And do you know who else likes that music? Do you know who else had a great time with that music last week? Mikey G.
Mikey G.
That's right. That's right. As a matter of fact, Stacy, I think we have something from Mike because he was so excited. Look at that handsome son of a gun. Yeah. He was so happy and excited about his exposure last week on the Rocky Files that he sent us there.
Yo, Mike. Yo, Stacy. The show just wrapped up. I hope you guys had as much fun as I did, and I hope the audience watching from around the world. I'm getting messages from the Rocky fans over in Russia. Somebody had friend requesting me in Southeast Asia. Every time I see, because you have all these Rocky, websites, and Sylvester Stallone commented, it's like, oh my God, is it real Sly? Well, it's Sylvester Stallone Romania commented. I got fans all over. We have fans all over Romania. But there's a couple other people here in Port St. Lucie, and they just want to say something to you guys after watching tonight's episode.
Yo, Mike! Yo, Stacy! We love the Rocky Podcast!
Love you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity. Brooklyn, say bye. Say night-night. Say night-night. Brooklyn, say bye-bye.
Hey, that's pretty awesome, huh?
When he sent that, I'm like, I am posting this right now. That was the best shout out. And
isn't that nice?
How excited he was and how genuine he was. I'm like, this is it. This is exactly why we do this. That was a perfect example. Yeah.
He called me right after he sent the video. He called to make sure. Yeah. He said, Mike, he goes, I had such a great time on the podcast. I went out and I bench pressed a Buick, an Oldsmobile, and a Chevy Citation. He goes, I just started bench pressing them right there. He goes,
right.
Really? My family thought I was nuts. So we had a great time, Mike, and thank you, man. We don't get that all the time from people that are on the show. And whenever we do, it's really appreciated. Hey, what else is going on in our little fan world? What have our peeps been up to?
Well, we had a very lucky fan head over to Hope, British Columbia.
Oh, that's a dream of mine.
Let me tell you. So this was the anniversary of 40th, right?
Yeah,
of Rambo.
First Blood.
And she put this picture. Here's our Joanne Yee. Everyone head over to her on Instagram. How adorable. Look at her. She's badass. Looks awesome, Joanne. She had a blast. I think she does 5 or 6 different posts. Each post has like 10 pictures. And that
how did she smuggle that gun on the plane?
Right?
That's what I want to know. We have to hire her for security.
There was all types of props. There was a bunch of the actors were there, so she got to meet all these cool people and see all these. And this is just 2 pictures. There's a ton of pictures. So go over to Joanne Yee. She had a blast. I think they thought Sly was gonna be there, but then he couldn't be or something.
Yeah. He sent a personal message. I know that.
Okay.
He did send a personal video for them that they played in front of everybody. I don't know that he was going to be there initially. Mm-hmm. I didn't hear that he was going to show up, but I'll tell you, I hope he gets back out there.
Yeah.
I hope he gets back to Hope. I really do, because I think it would be huge. And now that they've got the Rambo statue and the Will Teasel statue carved out of wood, I really think that would be kind of interesting to have Sly there. And I don't know, retracing Rocky's steps, go back to the Othello tunnels where they filmed the cliff scene, or the old junkyard, which is still there. That abandoned truck is still there. You know, they've got a place where he blows up the Marshall Fields. He shoots him across the street. They have a sign called Rambo Way, the little alleyway there. It's crazy.
Yes.
It's crazy. And so I do hope in time Sly gets back there. I do.
Yeah. It looks like a beautiful town too, and the weather was perfect. The great pictures. So
Oh my God, yeah.
yeah,
Hey, have you heard from Roz lately? What's she been up to?
Miss Roz, this poor lady has been through it. 2 surgeries. The second one was unplanned, and she had to wait a second 8 weeks for recovery. But I just wanted to show her here. She just posted yesterday her first run back, and I could not capture her video, but here she is. This is the picture post, and this is the example of keep punching right here.
That's exactly it.
You know, and she's just amazing. And she ran, and I think she did after 8 weeks, she did 2 miles right out of the gate. I was like, yeah, you. And so she's back to running. And so we just wanted to say congratulations. And
I think that is so fantastic.
Yeah.
And I'm really proud of her because it is not easy. You get into a slump when you have any type of or you can get into a slump when you have any type of surgery. It it aggravates you, weighs you down a little bit, plays mental games at you. But to beat that, to beat your own brain, to get back into working out and stay at it, it is the keep punching attitude. It really is. And I had the opportunity to spend some time with her, and she's just a sweetheart. She really is.
Yeah, it's so good. So I've decided that there's no more bumps in the road for Roz. That's it. You're done.
She's had enough of peculiar things happen to her. And you know what, Stacy? Speaking of peculiar things, I came across this by accident just a few days ago. I didn't know what I was looking at, and I don't think Dolph Lundgren knew what he was looking at. In just a second, I want you to play something here. There is a reason why a lot of these celebrities have security, and when they don't go with security, I'm always shocked at it. Like when Sly comes to Philly, for decades, he always had a security entourage for good reason. There's psychotics out there that either want to kill him, fight him, and sue him. Okay, he's a target. But the last couple of times he's been to Philly, he goes to Kensington walking on the streets with like his driver. That's it. And I got to meet his driver. Nice guy, but he ain't fighting off no gorillas. You know what I mean?
Right, I see.
And Sly just walks in, he talks to people, and it's I don't know if it's brave. I don't know if his wife gets nervous when he does things like that. It's crazy. But this happened to Dolph just the other day. I came across it on TikTok. And to have a look at it, and then you guys weigh in the comments below during our live thing there, and you tell us what you think about this. Go ahead, Stace.
Let's break you. I'm real son of Ivan Drago. You remember 30 years ago when you lose fight to Rocky in Russia, you was in a bar and you slept with Russian girls. Her name was Natasha.
Run into here. I was just going to go for a drive and I ran into this guy.
I must break you. If he dies, he dies. I want to fight Victor.
Yes.
If you dies, you dies.
Victor, you must listen to this guy.
Now, Dolph Lundgren has 2 hip replacements, okay? I know Dolph could probably kick his ass, but he's a little slow bringing up the karate kick if he had to.
Yes.
This is the type of thing that gets people killed. The guy is, I think he's called the real Ivan Drago on TikTok. I started following him just to see how bizarre his stuff is, and it worked. This stunt got me to follow him.
Right.
Stacy, what do you make of that?
It's funny, and I think Dolph Lundgren handled it very well.
Oh my God, yeah.
But you don't know if you have someone who's crazy or just having fun. You know what I mean? So the fact that the guy's just having fun, great. It's funny.
Sure. It's a win-win for everybody. But what if his toaster or his sugar container told him to go and kill Drago?
Yeah.
I mean, son of Sam, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, orders from the dog. I mean, it's crazy. Stallone has a great story about, and I'm not going to go into it now, but he's got a great story about Jean-Claude Van Damme, where decades ago, before Van Damme was famous, he was hiding in Stallone's bushes at one of his mansions where he lived. And he waited for Sly to come out, and he starts doing karate kicks and splits in front of Stallone. And Stallone doesn't know what to make of it, and I think at one point he calms him. Everybody calms down, and I think Sly gives him a ride to the bus station. But I got to try to find that story. I have it somewhere in my archives here. I'll have to go.
I'm writing that down.
Yeah, it's really a great story, and I will try to find it to bring more of that to light.
Yeah.
But speaking of funny stories, I have one that I haven't told really in a while, or any of the interviews I've done over the last couple of years. It's kind of a funny story.
Yeah.
It's got a real happy ending to it. Anyways, back in August of 14. Sue, birthday present. Sue took me to New York City to see Rocky at the Winter Garden Theater. And I think there's a picture. I don't know. Did I send you a picture of me in the Winter Garden Theater?
All right. Let's see.
Do I have it? There it is. Yeah, there I am, standing across the street. I'm holding a jacket because I read that the air conditioning is so absolutely freezing inside. Now, what's interesting about this picture, the guy on the billboard, that is not the actor who played Rocky in New York on Broadway. That is the German actor who played Rocky on Broadway in Germany for like 3 years. That is the actor who played Rocky in Broadway, New York, is Andy Carl. Here is a picture of me and Andy Carl at the end of Rocky the Musical, okay? And I'll explain how he and I came to have this picture together. All right, so before Rocky opens on Broadway, Andy Carl has to go to Philadelphia to do promotional work for Broadway. He went to like Gino's, he went to some iconic locations, including the Rocky Steps and the statue. Now, at the Rocky statue, there are several locals who hang out there, and they sell counterfeit Rocky t-shirts, and they take pictures for tips with the tourists, and they actually do a great job. But there's one guy there whose name is Mike, and he does bear a similar resemblance to myself and Stallone. He's a little shorter than I am, but basically this is what he does all day, is he sells the t-shirts and he gets tips for taking pictures with tourists. So Andy Carl is down there. But this guy, Mike, he doesn't know Andy Carl is Andy Carl playing Rocky. He thinks he's just another tourist.
Oh.
But Andy Carl has a very tiny film crew with him. I think it was like 2 people. And so the guy, Mike, is taking a picture with Andy. Andy says, oh, my God, I got to get a picture with this guy. And Mike says to Andy, can you believe they're doing Rocky on Broadway? Because it was all over the news at that point. And Andy goes, yeah. He goes, I heard about that. And he goes, did you see the guy that's going to be Rocky? He doesn't look anything like Rocky. He sucks. And he goes, wow, really? He goes, okay. He goes, so you're not going to go see it? He goes, I wouldn't go and see it because I'm a better Rocky than him. Okay. So now this guy starts putting it together with the film crew. He goes, wait a minute, what are you doing here? He goes, oh, you're the guy from Broadway. And then he just ends. They walk away, and it's a funny story. About 2 months after this, Andy Carl gives an interview in some Broadway magazine that's very popular. Okay. Now, the only reason I have a copy of this magazine somewhere in my archives is because it was about Rocky. I would never want to read about Broadway. I'm not interested.
Right.
In this article, the reporter asks, have you ever had anything odd happen to you? And he says, yeah, I was at the Rocky statue where Mike Kunda comes up to me, who's a Rocky impersonator, and he starts calling me out how bad I suck as Rocky, and I'm not going to do a good job. He goes, this is too good of a story. He goes, I don't know. The guy begs for tip money. I'm like, oh! I'm like, Andy, what are you doing? He didn't even know me at this point, right?
Oh, that's awful.
Didn't even know me.
Right.
But my name got stuck in his head. So I said to Sue, how the hell does this happen? This guy just totally threw me under the bus. People are going to read this and think I'm a crumb bum from Philly who is just, harassing tourists.
Yeah.
And I get it all the time. This guy at the statue, like he gets in fights with tourists and stuff. And people
they think it's you.
They think it's me.
Oh, that's awful.
I'm constantly defending myself about this. All right. I have a mutual friend with Andy. Andy invites my mutual friend, who is not Sylvester. They are friends, but I would tell you if it was Sly. Andy invites my mutual friend to the play. Okay, right. Goes behind stage and whatever. My mutual friend knew this story and tells Andy, yes. Andy, I think you have to make something right here.
Yeah.
You called out the wrong guy. And Andy was very, very confused by all of this. He didn't understand what was happening.
Who was what? Yeah.
Who was what? So he goes, okay. He goes, you tell your friend Mike. He goes, bring his wife, come to the show. He goes, bring him back. He goes, tell him, stop at the side door, put his name on the list. He'll be the first one. He goes, after the show, I'm going to get a shower. He goes, I'll come down, get him. We'll go up to the office. We'll meet the cast, the crew, everybody, hang out. He goes, we'll correct this, because he didn't want my friend to be upset with him.
Right. Well, that's good.
So we see the play. The play was wonderful. I'm a bit of a Rocky purist, and it worked. Stacy, here's a couple of pictures of what Andy looked like as Rocky, and they didn't want a Sylvester Stallone Rocky for Broadway. They wanted more of a neutral, because a Sylvester Stallone Rocky singing would be somewhat maybe it would be funny or wouldn't be accepted. Okay. So here's a couple of shots of Andy in his boxing look, and he got himself in great shape. He had great shoulders and arms, really, really trained hard for this. He even had the Rocky look. And one of the things he decided to change is you can't see it in this picture, but he does have a gray hoodie on. Now, Rocky never wore a gray hoodie, but that's one of the little tweaks that Andy wanted to make towards the character, which is it's great. No problem. Anyways, at this point, Andy thinks he's just invited the other guy from the statue.
Oh, dear.
He thinks this is who he's going to run into. So his people come down, and he goes, Mike and Sukunda. Yeah, I go, okay, come on. Andy wants to see you after the play. Come right here. We walk through these narrow catwalks going up behind stage and into the dressing rooms. And here comes the Apollo Creed. Here comes Adrian. Here comes the Paulie. And we're talking and taking pictures. And it was great. Wow. They were lovely people. And Andy opens up the door, and he goes, oh, thank God. Thank God it's you. He goes, I am so sorry.
Yeah.
Here's what happened. When he was doing research, like a year before this or 10 months before this, okay?
I see. Yeah.
He was going through YouTube just to get an idea of what Rocky impersonators do, what their take on it was.
Yeah, to prepare for his role. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
What interpretation might help him trigger something.
Right.
And he saw all my videos, and he loved them. But my name got said many times. My Kunda.
Right.
The name stuck. Rocky impersonator. Yeah. How many guys named Mike are Rocky impersonators? Okay.
I know.
It turns out at least 2.
At least 2.
And one is very successful.
Yeah.
So anyways, he begins to tell me that during this interview, he goes, I had to tell that story, but I apologize. Your name is the one that was in my mind. And then I told him what the other guy's name was, and I was like, it's one of the funniest stories ever. It really, to me, I still laugh about it, and I couldn't wait to share it because it really is a funny thing when you have someone like that who makes a little oopsie. But yeah, Andy Carl is probably one of the nicest guys I've ever come across. I mean, he is a genuine nice guy, and he was great in the role of Rocky. He really, really was fantastic.
Is it playing right now?
It is. It's actually at the Walnut Street Theater in Philadelphia. We were going to go and see it. But for the 2 of us to go, it was about $500. So,
okay.
Yeah. And I saw the set design and the stage, and like the Broadway stage was just thick and rich with details.
Yeah.
Not so much on this one. And I was just like, I'm sure it's going to be good. I'm sure it's going to be great, but I don't know. I'll pass on it.
You saw it. You went.
I saw it. I saw it in New York. Yeah. Right. I saw it in New York.
Good.
So if I got a free ticket, I would go, but I'm not paying $500.
Yeah,
that's
that's a lot.
That's a lot of money. And then it's parking and you get something to eat after, and right away it's a mortgage payment.
Right. That's true. That's true.
So that's my little contribution to this week's podcast. Stacey, are we wrapping up? Are we done, or is there anything else? Oh, we have a guest. Do we have a guest?
We do. I hear knocking.
Is our guest here?
Our guest is here.
Can you send Raphael or Barbara down and bring our guest in?
I don't know if Barbara knows about Raphael.
Who is our guest this week?
Our guest, his name is Corey Baker, and I loved this story. He's going to give us more details, but what it sounds like to me is there's a lot of similarities between Stallone's beginning and his beginning, and
excellent,
how much success Stallone has had and where Corey finds himself now. So Corey, welcome. Hang on. Here he is. Hi, how are you?
How's it going, guys? I'm doing good.
Corey, how are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Man, with that voice, you should be a country western singer.
No.
No,
absolutely not.
Can you sing a few lines about a rocking chair, a cat, and a shotgun? No, I'm kidding. Corey, thank you. Dog. Yeah, a dead dog, exactly. Welcome to the podcast, Corey. It's so glad to have you here.
I appreciate you guys having me. I love the podcast. I haven't seen them all, but I'm working on it.
Keeping up. He sent us this this is how we got introduced, and I wanted to show this picture. This is your son, Gabe, right? Drew this?
Yep. Yeah.
Take a look at that.
Nice.
Isn't that cute? We posted that.
Yeah.
And that's how we got talking. And so Corey, tell us a little bit, about your mom and how you got introduced to Rocky. That was so sweet, bittersweet, but tell us about that.
So when I was probably, I would say 10 years old or so, who knows, but I had Rocky 2 on VHS, and that's all I had. I didn't know, I was so young, I didn't even know there were sequels. Okay. So I would watch it over and over again. Loved it, loved the workout scenes and all that, the music. So my mother was over, my parents had divorced and everything, so she was over. She's like, "Oh, have you seen the rest of them?" I'm like, what do you mean?
There's more?
Boom.
So
yes,
she bought them all for me, and all on VHS. We'd go to like thrift stores and stuff like that, then we'd eventually find them. So I watched them all like way out of whack. Rocky 2, then like Rocky 4, back and forth. Eventually, as I got old enough, I was 12, 13, and I had them all and watched them all chronologically, in the summer months when we didn't have school and everything. And I just loved it ever since then. I joined the wrestling team and everything, and I do workouts off of my dad's trucks, doing the push-ups and all that stuff. So I got into it pretty hardcore. And unfortunately, she passed away when I was 14. Before it was actually just like the same month that Rocky Balboa came out in 2006. So it was like meant to be or something, because Rocky Balboa, which is the sixth one, came out after she had passed, and then I watched it, and like in the very first scene, or one of the first scenes, he's at the graveyard, because Adrian had passed away and everything. It almost helped me just get over it. And, just totally. So Stallone pulled it off at the perfect time. It was awesome.
Yeah. It's amazing how that knack is there, how that thing with Rocky, he really is, as Mick would say, the angel on our shoulder. He really is at the most needed time. It's there.
Yeah.
Right, Stacey?
It just blows Nicky Petito, one of our guests from the past, he said, and I'll never forget his answer. He goes, "Rocky helped me grieve." And I was like, well, now I've never heard that answer ever, and then listening to his story, it totally made sense. And then listening to you, Corey, that makes sense. And Rocky 3 came out 4 to 6 weeks after my aunt died, very accidentally and very unexpectedly, tragically. And I'm 9, and I'm in the middle of Rocky 3, bawling my eyes out when Mickey dies. You know what I'm saying? And
there's so much emotion in those movies. It's ridiculous.
I get that moment.
It's not an you know, you see it on Netflix or something, they label it as action, and it's not.
No,
It's not.
right.
It's.
Right.
I mean, even without all those situations, either
Yeah.
way, I mean, you know, you can definitely cry through one of those movies because Stallone doesn't get the recognition he deserves. He is one hell of an actor.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's amazing.
It's, you know, you watch Copland, even the movie ICU, which nobody ever talks about, but the movie
I
ICU,
love.
what kind?
Yes.
That's crazy act. He should have got an Oscar for that. If you
I
ask me.
know.
I
So
loved
underrated.
him. I
Mhm.
loved him in ICU. I thought he was so good when he's in that underground bunker and he's really just grieving and trying to put it all together, yet he's trying to help other people. He's a great actor. And it's,
Yep.
you know, he's going to get like one of those, what do they call when they're dead? The posthumous.
Oh,
Uh,
Lifetime Achievement Awards.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's when they're going to give it to him.
Yep.
When he's dead. And
Right.
one of his kids are going to accept it up on stage. Like, to
Right.
me, I just think he deserved the Oscar for Rocky. I mean, how does a movie win best movie, right? It wins best director, okay, but it doesn't. The actor doesn't win it.
I know.
How is it? He's in every scene. It doesn't work with. I don't understand that.
No, imagine if Robert Redford got it like they wanted. It wouldn't.
Yeah.
It would have been Rocky 1 and done.
Could you imagine Burt Reynolds chewing gum as Rocky? Adrian, come on over here, Adrian. Get over here.
No,
It
no.
would be horrible. That's
No,
by the
he
way,
was real.
I do a bad Burt Reynolds, by the way. I do a very bad Burt Reynolds. No, Corey, you're right. He was authentic, I think, as Rocky. I think Stallone was, yeah.
And he's stayed authentic to this day. I mean, you
Yeah.
watch his Instagram videos and stuff. He's just living life.
He is. He really is. When he puts out those really well thought videos, I think it gets a lot of people to listen up and pay
Those are my
attention.
favorites. Yeah.
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 I would agree. I would agree. Is it safe to say, Corey, Rocky 2 is your favorite Rocky?
It's a close one between that and Rocky Balboa.
Mm.
Rocky 2 because that's how I got introduced and everything.
Sure.
But Rocky Balboa it's right there. I can't choose. I've got the emotion behind the Rocky Balboa too.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. I guess I put them both together.
Yeah. And there is no wrong answer. I used to think people who liked Rocky 4 better than the original were mentally incapacitated to some degree. Right, Stacey?
They want to be entertained.
Yeah,
Those are the ones who wanted to be entertained. They're
That's
not
right.
actually into it.
But then I found as I got older, I really began to understand the mind of a Rocky fan. They, whatever age they are, when they experience a Rocky for the first, they're bringing all of their life experiences with them. So now I really understand the Rocky 4 fan as much as I understand a Rocky 1 fan, because we're all different. Like, I used to think Rocky 1, that was the greatest soundtrack in the world, which it is. But then people would tell me, no, Eye of the Tiger is better than Gonna Fly Now. And after I was arrested for near murder, I would tell them, no. But then I understood. Everybody has their own likes and dislikes. So when you say Rocky Balboa, you have that emotional connection from what you said about your mom and helping you get through that. I get that.
Yeah. It's so true. Rocky 3 is my favorite. I think that because that was such an emotional trip. Understanding, what death was when you're only 9 years old. And then that scene is what made my head wrap around it.
Right.
So then all of a sudden it's, you know what I mean? And I'm sure Corey with your mom, my gosh.
I could see Rocky 3 too. I mean, all of them. I mean, you can't say anything about a Rocky movie without having some kind of emotion in it.
Right.
There's always he's a good writer. I mean, he's an awesome writer. I was going to tell you a funny story.
Yeah.
I'm so into it. And my mother-in-law did not know this. I kept it a secret from her because I thought she was going to put an end to it. But when my wife and I were pronounced husband and wife, the Rocky theme song goes on. Nobody knew it was going to happen but me and my wife and the DJ, obviously. And it's as we're walking down the aisle and everything, you now pronounced man and wife, you kiss, and then we walk down the aisle, the Rocky theme song's playing in the background.
Your mother-in-law tried to put a stop to that?
No, I was afraid she was going to, so I kept it a secret.
Right. I got you. What did she say about it when it happened?
Oh, she laughed. She loved it.
Awesome.
But you know, and I just told Jess, I'm like, let's just set this up and not tell anybody, because I don't want anybody trying to talk me out of it. No, it's gonna happen, and that's it. So it happened. It was awesome. I barely remember it, you know, as weddings go, but
Right.
And now, is your wife a Rocky fan as well?
she's one of those Rocky IV Rocky fans, like you're talking.
Okay, no, that's okay.
There she is. Yeah.
No, that's nothing wrong. Oh, what a beautiful picture. No, there's nothing wrong with it. Honestly, that's great. It's just, I used to gauge people who they were as a person by what Rocky movie they liked. I'm so pathetic. I have so many. Corey, you have no idea of how deep the neuroses goes. It really is. I'm so much better than I was. I was like a little Gestapo when I was a kid. Just, you know, it was horrible. But anyways,
Yeah.
so will she watch like Balboa with you? Will the two of you sit down?
Yeah. I mean, if it's on TV, she knows there's no other option. I mean,
nice.
That's where it's stopping.
Yeah, I get you.
But we always have a joke. We're always sitting around the living room like, all right, what do you want to watch? Every time she would tell you this without me being there, she'd say, he's going to say Rocky every time. And everybody in the house says, no.
Well, here's something that's interesting. What did you and your wife think about the re-edit of Rocky IV? Director's cut.
Loved it. Anything new, even if it was worse, I would have loved it. It wouldn't have mattered.
Good point. Anything.
That's a great point.
Oh my God, Corey, that's hitting me like a lightning bolt. What you just said.
Yeah.
Anything worse than what we got is better than most movies that are out today. Okay.
I watched the movie Backtrace. All right, nobody else did, but
wow.
I did.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, I watched it.
We're
too.
the only three, probably. But
that was tough to get through. Sly, if you see this, I'm sorry. I know you were only in Backtrace for about 12 seconds, but still, Matthew Modine, I loved him as Loudon Swain in Vision Quest. I loved him, but this movie, I wish I had a bullet to my head. Okay. Oh no, this is not a good movie.
It tells you how nice of a guy he is. He was just doing someone a favor, I'm sure.
He was. I'm sure he was. I mean, a paycheck is a paycheck.
Right.
I get it. I understand it. But yeah, Backtrace. I think that's the one I don't have in my collection in the other room. You know, DVD. I think it's the only one I don't have.
Right.
Yep. I that's one of them. The other one I'm missing is The Specialist. I can just order it right now. I haven't done it, but I've got all of them. But I even have Lords of Flatbush.
Oh no, I love Lords.
Nice. Yeah.
Oh, I love Lords of Flatbush.
Yeah.
Man, I'm telling you, I think that was a great movie. Specialist was fine. I loved the loner concept in the warehouse, the cat named Timer because he was a bomb specialist and all that. I liked that. And actually I thought Sharon Stone was okay in it, but I don't know. Eric Roberts, he's Eric Roberts.
Yeah. He's a soap opera guy. That's
right.
Yeah, he is.
No.
No. I'm sure he's a lovely, lovely human being.
Now he did really good in Expendables.
He did. I never saw a guy take a knife to the chest like he did. He really, Eric did quite well. I think Julia would be proud of her brother. You got to imagine what the Thanksgiving dinner is around the table. Like, Eric's got to be like, Julia's a lot of drama. I would imagine.
The whole family.
I would imagine. Soundtracks. Of all the soundtracks, what's the one that sticks out the most to you? Of the Rockies?
Oh yeah, for sure. Gonna Fly. The first Rocky is. It's just. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I worked out to that.
Really?
On a loop over and over again, and then, the soundtrack in Rambo.
Yeah.
That was pretty awesome too.
Yeah.
It's like Stallone's connected to great soundtracks or whatever. He always finds the good composers.
You actually touch on something there that I think is kind of interesting. I've always felt that Rocky and Rambo were opposite sides of the same coin. One is the light, one is the dark.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, with Rambo, it's what we have to do when we're forced into the corner with no one around for support. And Rocky is what we do in the light with loved ones who we do it, you know, they help us achieve our goals in life. And I think there's that psychic connection that he had. He recognized the brilliance in David Morrell's a First Blood novel, and he was able to spin it in such a way that captured so many fans' imaginations. I mean, look, we just got done talking about the 40th anniversary of First Blood in Hope. It was just amazing. Yeah, I would. Stacey, what's your favorite? I forget what your favorite Rocky soundtrack is. You 4, right? 4? Did you say 4?
It's funny because when I was first introduced to it was Rocky 3, and that was a very sad time. So when I left Rocky 3, I was like, I'm never going to see another Rocky again because I love bawling. You know what I mean? And then
right.
And then so I fell in love. I like 4 years later, you know, I'm over that. And then so I see Rocky 4, and I'm avoiding Rocky 4 because I'm like, who's he going to kill next? You know what I'm saying? And then all my friends are talking, and they're talking about Apollo dying, and I'm like, see, I'm not going to go. Well, finally, you know, I'm in middle school. I'm bullied into it. So I finally go, and I was flying. It was just a completely different experience. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I didn't have anyone who just passed away. You know what I mean? So,
well, that's a good thing.
Yeah. You know, so I don't know. It was fun. Rocky 4 was fun.
Yeah.
Compared to Rocky 3 was sad, and that it's more to do with what I was going through.
I think without Rocky 4, you wouldn't have had Rocky 5 or the rest of them, because there's that moment when Apollo goes down and Rocky knows he's dead in his hands, and he looks at Drago. That look was like a light switch going off in Rocky. Where, boom. Now you've got it, and once I have you down, I'm done. Like you can tell, it led right up to the new Rocky.
Right.
That's true.
You know, I don't think I asked you. Did you get a chance to sit with your mom at any point and watch a Rocky movie?
A couple of them. Obviously Rocky 2. I never got to watch 3, 4, 5, 6 all together with her. So it was just right. She didn't live with us. We saw her every once in a while.
Gotcha.
So it never happened, but
I gotcha.
It didn't stop me from watching them all about 1,000 times. I take all those, you know, you see on Facebook or something pops up, a Rocky quiz. I'm going through the questions. I'm like a moron would know these questions. What's the name of the 2 turtles? Like, who doesn't know that?
Right.
Some people,
there are people who don't.
There are people that don't. You know, they'll take my tour in Philly, right? And so I've got to gauge very quickly, you know, where they are on the Rocky spectrum. Okay. Are they full-fledged lunatics like me? Are they novices? Are they in the middle? Like, you know, I got to figure it out. And so I'll say, you know, talk about the turtles, and they don't recall turtles. They have no idea that Moby Dick for the fish, the goldfish, nothing. And I'm like, wow, and they just get done telling me how they're these huge Rocky fans. They're like off the charts. They know everything, and they don't know the turtle's name. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going to adjust. This will be a longer tour. I get it. I get it. It's to me, it's an interesting phenomenon. Now, you said you had a son, right?
Yep. He's my stepson, 11 years old.
Okay, 11 years old. Now he's into Rocky as well.
He's getting there. He's been a little young. He's watched them all of them for sure. I'll tell you a little. I wish I had a video of this. When Creed first came out, he was 4 or 5.
Okay.
And we're all in the theater watching it, and as unfortunately it wasn't a Rocky movie, so it's not as great. But you know, during the fight scenes, I look over. He's on the other side of his mother, and he's punching the air.
Was he?
He's into it.
Oh, that's great.
Nice.
Ever since then, he wanted to watch the rest of them, and we've watched them all dozens of times at least.
That's awesome.
Anytime I get a new TV, the TV gets bigger, so you got to watch Rocky on it.
Right.
Of course.
Right.
A little more defined. You can see the snowflakes falling when Gazzo's yelling at him. You can see things a little better. The punches seem to hurt more when they get hit. You know, the quality of the TV, and of course the size. Nobody wants to go with a little crappy 19-inch, like those old floor models we used to have when we were kids back in the 60s and 70s. Now, I mean, my God, you have a 70 or an 80-inch flat screen on your wall. Forget about it. It's
For
like
$500. They're cheap
yeah,
now,
exactly.
you know?
Exactly. I remember the 25 years ago, the first flat screen, and it wasn't a flat screen, it was like a rear projection screen. It was like $2,900.
Yeah.
And I compared today's the then. It's like this thing wasn't worth like $80, but it was awesome because of the size.
Right.
It's always about the size. That's crazy. Man,
Corey, tell us what you're up to now. A part of your story I loved is, you had a real rough beginning, the way Sly did, and now you're doing some amazing stuff. So tell us about that.
I don't call it a rough beginning because, well, it was at the time, but all the, look at Sly, look at all these people. Elon Musk is a good example. Like most successful people don't come from money. I don't consider someone with a lot of money in their bank account successful unless they actually accomplish something.
Right.
So I grew up working on a farm for $6 an hour. Was told by, me and my father did not get along after my mother had passed away and everything. So for some reason, he allowed me on his land to build a small cabin with the money that I had saved up on the farm. Spent $700, built a small cabin, and dug a little trench and connected like 1 million extension cords to his shed. And I had a little heater back there and everything, and I lived out there for about 3 years. And and so I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna be a loser. So with the Rocky movies and everything, he's been all the way at the bottom and went back. So I never quit. And
nice.
When I took in the same industry right out of high school, I took a job in the lawn care industry and just worked my way up the ladder. Now I'm running a lawn care company now, and it's because people told me, oh, you're from this family or whatever, you're not going to really accomplish much. You just work at the factory the rest of your life. And I said nope, because I looked at all my other family members. I have some on welfare and stuff like that, and I said that's not for me. Nope, not going to happen to me. So I just, even with stumbling blocks, I've gone through some other stuff I won't get into, but I never quit. You just restart. And actually Sly put out a video not too long ago where he says it's okay to be down, and it's okay to hit rock bottom. Just as the quote says, just keep moving forward. So that's kind of how my mindset always was. That huge speech that he gives to his son in Rocky Balboa, I could probably have quoted it after one time of listening to that, and it stuck with me. And anytime I start feeling a little bit like a little depressed or whatever, I just kind of think back to that and go, okay, just chill out, everything will be fine.
Right.
And then next thing you know, you're actually better off than you were before. So, and that's very Rocky,
Perseverance.
Yeah.
It's all about perseverance.
Wow. So. I love that, Corey. That's awesome. What a beautiful story. I just love the the keep punching mentality. And I think it's such a lonely space that you were in for a long time. And that parallels to Rocky too. He was in such a lonely space, and people were telling him what he was going to be. And he's like, no, I'm going to be more than this. You did all the same things. You paralleled that whole story. I love that.
Yeah, it can happen with anybody. It's what I tell my technicians all the time. You stick with this. Look at me. I never went to college or anything like that. Just stick with something and be good at it, and you'll get promoted or whatever. And and it'll all work out. Look at Mike. I watched that documentary, and
The Pretender.
And you'd never quit ever.
Right.
No, never. Even I should have. There are many times I should have. I should have took a lot of people's advice, but that's just it. When there's something going on, there's something beyond Rocky. There's something because your situation, Corey, is very, very comparable to what I went through, what Stallone went through, what anyone who's been down. It's Stacy with nursing. I remember the stories you've shared with me over the years. Mm-hmm. There is something inside a lot of us that connects us to Rocky. It's that thing. And maybe at some point, is going forward the best thing here? I mean, I want to be a power forward for the 76ers, but I'm only 5'7" at the time, right? So I don't think it's. I'm going to try to make out for the team, but it doesn't work. But I think in our case, I think we had somewhat of a good basis, somewhat of a decent toolbox to pull from, and it certainly sounds it. I mean, you built a cabin. All right, it wasn't the Taj Mahal, but you built a
cabin. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I just wanted to live by myself, away from the drama, and I would not let Gabe do something like that. But
right.
Times were a little different, and
let me ask you this: would you, if for whatever reason something like that happens, would you help him build a cabin if that's what he wanted to do?
Yeah,
you would give him that advice.
I wouldn't let him live there.
He could hang out there on a Saturday.
Right. Yeah, he's not going to live. I slept out there. I ate out there. I drove a little Craftsman lawnmower to down the street to the farm.
Really?
I made my own money, bought a lot of my own food.
Any animals give you a hard time, or snakes, bears, anything?
No, raccoon did. So I had this cat. His name was Rascal, and I actually built a little cat door so he can come in and out whenever he wanted. And there was a raccoon come walking through that door one night.
Really?
Luckily, Rascal was a big orange cat, and he took care of it. But yeah, that was the only time though. This is in upstate New York, so snakes and stuff aren't really a big worry. But
yeah, not a lot of grizzly and elk up there coming through.
No, a lot of deer, coyotes, stuff like that. And I never had any coyote problems, but the raccoon freaked me out. I was like 15 years old. There's a raccoon coming through, and
you never know. I mean, it's at night or whatever. You're half asleep or something. You don't know what's going to go on around you. I mean, it's after hindsight, you can laugh at it a little bit as a raccoon.
Well, I should be dead right now. All the stupid stuff I did when I was
really, yeah, right.
I lit a field on fire, shooting flaming arrows and stuff.
That's boys for you.
I did some dumb things back then.
Yeah.
Nice. Jesus. Stacy, before we get Corey out of here, because he's got a very busy life. He's taken some time out to talk to us. Before we get him out of here, is there any other questions, any other thoughts you got for him?
A couple things. Do you have any siblings? I was just curious.
I do. I had a younger sister I tortured, and then my two older brothers were 10 plus years older than me, so they weren't really around too much when I was a kid. But
could we clarify something? Was she tortured Ted Bundy tortured, or was she tortured pulling on the pigtails tortured?
More like the pulling on the pigtails. Anytime
okay, I want to help you out here as much as we can.
Right. It's, one of those things where she would start losing her teeth, and I was the one who came up with the brilliant ideas on how to get them out, like slamming doors and stuff like that. Nice. Yeah, I was that brother.
Nice.
Oh my goodness. Let's see. Here's a couple pictures. You sent us this. Love that.
Oh, and I like that one.
Here's a good one. Love that.
That's a while ago. Oh yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, I drove. I've got a good story about that trip.
Look at that book.
Hey.
I like your reading material.
There you go.
Oh, look at that. Cue the Rocky music.
Tell us about your trip, and then we'll do the book.
Yeah. I ran out of gas on my way back from Philly that trip.
Oh, no.
I took a girl from I went to community college for about 3 minutes, and I found this girlfriend, and she lived right in Jersey, but right across from Philly. Okay. So I talked her into, I'm like, I can bring you back, because I wanted to go to the Rocky Steps. I'm like, I'll drive you home, and I did that and ended up spending too much money. And as I'm driving back, I realized I've got like $3 and I don't have enough gas to get home. So I don't know how I made it to my father's house, which is about halfway to where I had to go home. And he gave me like $20 or something like that. And I made it. I don't know how the car made it. I was driving on fumes for a long time, but yeah, I was willing to get stranded to go see the Rocky Steps. I didn't care.
What kind of car was it?
Oh, geez. I think it was like a 1999, some piece of crap Ford, you know.
Gotcha.
That I shouldn't have been driving across New York into Jersey anyway.
Yeah.
But it is
We've all
what
had
it
those
is.
cars. Yeah.
I'm here now, so we're good.
You're here to tell the story, man. I love it. And thank you for getting a copy of Cue the Rocky music.
It's a good, I mean, I don't read books. I'll tell you, I'll be straight honest with you. I don't read books, but it's easy. It's easy to read.
Okay, do you know why it's easy to read? No big words. Very rarely do I use 2-syllable words. I tell people all the time. I kept it as simple as I am. Just simple.
That's perfect.
Yeah. So it's good. It's also good for killing spiders too. So
it's good because it's a cool story. It's an engaging story. It pulls you.
Yeah,
I mean, there's no other way to hear all those stories other than to put it in a book. You'd still be talking right now if you're trying to. That's a lot of detail. Like when you met Sly in the restaurant and had to go in the restroom to tell your father. I mean, that's a great story. It's awesome.
I would run up to the restaurant in the Victor Cafe and I would call my dad just to give him little updates because he was so excited. But I was doing that there was like a 3-month period where I kept running into Sly and I would call my father right after or during. I knew how much he wanted to. I would have called Sue, but she was there. So, but yeah, so it's I thought those things might be cute anecdotes I think, what is that, Stacy? Would it be called an anecdote, I guess?
Yeah.
I guess that's what it would be called, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, no one wants to hear about Mike Kunda's years, but if it's involving Rocky, well, now we got like not exactly a bestseller, but we have something. We don't know what, but we have something.
Absolutely.
Corey, man, you've been a really great guest, man. This has been awesome. You know, every podcast we try to end it with a question. If you had 30 seconds in between floors on an elevator with Sylvester Stallone, what do you say to him?
I would start off by thanking him for Rocky and sticking to his guns and not selling it off, because I don't think this podcast or any of this would exist without it. Agreed. And I would also say, hey, good job staying you versus turning into some drama queen like those other action stars out there, you know. He's a real deal dude, and from what you wrote down about your encounters with him, it sounds like I would not regret meeting him. Like, you know, they always say you regret meeting your heroes, and you know, reading your book and listening to you and watching his videos and what he does, I would just say, hey, thanks for staying real.
Wow.
That's well said.
That's
well
perfect.
said, my friend.
Yeah, I love that.
Thanks.
Stacy, we got a home run with this guest. He's a pretty good guy. I like him.
I love him. The sincerity.
Yeah.
This is what the bubble is. The sincerity is so far and above the average person in public. You know what I'm saying? Just in the world, we have a genuineness about this group that we have an example every week of that. And Corey, you just knocked it out of the park.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, you're very
Corey,
welcome.
thank you so much. You have a great day today. And as we always say,
keep
punching.
Keep punching.
Keep punching.
Bye, Corey.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
What a great guy, huh?
Sweetheart. It's very personal. His story was very personal because, and I don't, I always want to leave on a high, but when you lose someone as a very young person like that, I went through I was an only child, and like nobody knew. Everyone was, she died so tragically, and all the adults around you are so grief stricken. Nobody knows what to do with a 9-year-old. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you grieve, you get yourself through that alone, really,
Yeah.
in a way.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he did. So he loses his mom. He and dad don't get along very well.
Right.
And he had to get through that alone. And that cabin was probably his little sanctuary, you know what I'm saying, to heal and to grow and
Yep.
to sort of use Rocky. How many times do we hear it from fans that, you know, Rocky was like my dad?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's where he healed and where he got guidance from Rocky as sort of a virtual dad or a substitute, if
Yeah,
you will.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
that I could, just like my heart, I could feel
I
that
know.
loneliness, and trudging through that grief is a long, long journey. And I so relate. I so
I
relate
forgot.
to
I
that.
forgot. I forgot to ask him. How do you go to the bathroom? Did he put plumbing out there? Did he have a bucket? Did he
Well,
have a
that's where
job,
boys
Johnny?
have the advantage, at least on part of it.
You know, was it like one of those Home Depot buckets with a liner in it and, you know, a roll of toilet paper?
Right.
You
Right.
know?
The real important questions, Michael.
Yeah, exactly. The nucleus of this conversation is, how'd you go to the bathroom out there? Stacy, if people want to follow you, find you, harass you, or just ask you a general question in life, where can they find you?
They can find me at Had Me at Yo, but I do want to say one real quick thing.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait, stop the presses. This is something big here. Stacy, I thought I missed the boat on this. I did. I apologize.
It's okay.
Please. Can you have to make yourself just single frame. Take me out. Make yourself single frame right here. How do you do that?
Let me see if I can do that. Hold on.
All right. Well, that's great.
Bam,
There you go.
Yay! So I'm just going to put up this picture real quick. This is me and my husband, Kevin. And I just wanted to wish him a very happy anniversary. We have been married 10 years. We've been together 14 and a half. And, you know, divorce and remarriage can be scary. And I waited a long time before I got married again. And he was very patient and he understood my reservations. And I've never regretted marrying him for a moment. That's not to say we didn't have our rough times.
Yeah,
okay, you know, every marriage does, but a little secret, even something I don't want to say to him because he'll use it against me, but even at the times when I've been at my most frustrated or most like, there's always something in the back that I know I'm not leaving. I'm never leaving him. So you ain't ever getting rid of me.
Nice.
So, and I
congratulations.
mean
This is wonderful.
Yeah. So there he is.
Look at what a handsome guy he
he's
is.
just a sweetheart. He's the kindest, sweetest man. And I just wanted to say happy birthday, happy anniversary. And just thank you for putting up with my nuttiness. Cause I have my own.
No, you're a little nutty. You're definitely a little nutty, but the good type, you know, you're like my nutty buddy.
Yes, you are. Right. Exactly.
We are. So, hearing this, any big plans? You going to surprise him with anything? What are you going to do?
Yeah, we went out. It's so funny. He has the plainest palate on the face of the earth. Like, it's meat, potatoes, salt, pepper. So we all went out to Longhorn last night because our anniversary was actually the 11th. So and we got married 10, 11, 12, which was kind of funny. And then all of a sudden I'm like, here it is, 10, 11, 22. I'm like, wow, 10 years, it just flies. I can't even get over it. But so we had steak and potatoes, which makes him happy.
Hey, that makes me happy too. I got no problem with that.
Yeah.
I got no problem with that. Listen, how does he like his steak?
Rare.
Oh, does he really?
Rare, yeah. Like mooing.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. I like a little bit of pink, but I have brother-in-laws who like it. They literally tell the waiter or the waitress they want like charbroil,
oh, well done.
How do it's so? I can't.
I don't like it.
I gotta have a little bit.
Oh yeah,
of color.
I'm just medium. I just like medium.
You like medium, yeah?
I don't like it raw, but I don't like it brown either. Yeah.
In the middle, Stacy. In the middle. In the middle. That's where it's at.
Right. You are.
That's
correct.
where it is. That's where it is. And for any of you wondering what that means, that is just a private thing between Stacy and I. In the middle is where it's the best.
Yes, that is so true.
Wait a minute. That could be taken elsewhere.
No, it's appropriate. It's appropriate in every way.
Yes, it is. Life is in the middle. That's
Moving
the life.
on.
That's where we all live.
I'm gonna save you now, so I can be found at Had Me at Yo, because it's true.
Bingo.
And also on the Rocky Files, both of those on Instagram and on Facebook at the Rocky Files Podcast. And Michael, where can they find you?
I am the Yo Philly Rocky Film Tour. I am on the Rocky Files co-hosting with you. And I wasn't gonna say this. I'm gonna by the way, I see you grab my book. I do have a book. It's Cue the Rocky Music. 2 plugs in this show. I'm so happy about it. Buy it. It fits in stockings. It's Christmas is just around the corner, folks.
Right?
We only have like 11 Saturdays left. So go to Amazon and get your copy of Cue the Rocky Music.
Right.
So I've been complaining a lot lately about TikTok. They're pretty vicious over there. Picture humans with alligator mouths and like horrible thumbs that just like to destroy people. But anyways, I put a couple of videos up that went, I guess you could say they went viral. They're just fun stuff. I didn't think there was anything special about them, but some people really, really liked it. And I ended up booking about 12 gigs out of it. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, it was really surprising. So I thought, not bad. I'll take that. So you can find me at TikTok Rocky, but it's not. Wait, it's TICK. Right, because somebody else is TIK Rocky, TikTok Rocky. So I'm TICK Rocky, and you can join in. And I'm a little more freer on TikTok. I'm a little more verbal.
A little more what Mike is like behind closed doors.
Yeah. Think Andrew Dice Clay meets the Three Stooges, meets Rocky, meets I don't know, something else. Yeah, I'm not quite sure, but there you go. So this has been a meandering last part of our podcast. We're all over the place, but I don't know. Maybe that's normal for us.
Yes, it is. And people tell me they like that, so we're going to keep meandering.
We're going to keep meandering. A bunch of nomads. All right, my friend. I'm going to go. I have some visitors coming down this weekend, so I want to prep my house and I'll let you know how that goes. And maybe we'll have some exclusive footage of some famous people coming to my house for a weekend getaway and some Rocky talk. So I'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Can't wait.
Keep punching, my friend.
Keep punching. Bye-bye.